I'm ready.
We're recording.
Okay, cool.
All right. Hi, everyone. This is LéTania Severe, she, her pronouns. I'm here with the King County Equity Now research team, and I'm joined by Shaun
Shaun
Glaze. Go
Glaze.
ahead.
Yes, we both know my name. Hi, y'all. Shaun Glaze, they, them pronouns, the King County Equity Now's research team as well. Welcome to our Who Knows episode of the research podcast. And we're joined here by our second special guest. Whoop, whoop, very exciting. And we'll allow our guest to introduce himself.
Hey everyone, my name is Azure Savage. I use he, him pronouns. A little bit about me, I am 18 years old. I'm a recent high school graduate from Garfield High School in Seattle. I am a Black trans man, and I do a lot of work around like anti-racism in education. I do a lot of work focusing on sexual assault prevention and other forms of violence prevention. And I guess that's a little bit about me for now, but you'll hear more soon.
Thank you so much for coming on our podcast. I was like, when I had asked you, I was just like, please say yes, please say yes, please say yes.
Of course, of course.
I'm also very excited because I have read about some of the work you've done in the past, and I was like, I want to be on this podcast as well. So excited to be here and have this conversation.
Awesome. Yes. So one of the things that we are excited to do as part of this community research process is to share with people, what does community research look like? Like, what does it mean to be a researcher and a community member? And LéTania and I have done a series of podcast episodes to really kind of demystify some of that, just to highlight for those of you who are joining us more new. It's like, to us, being a researcher is about being curious. It's about being accountable to community. It's about being really passionate about trying to, be a good support and to help out. And so I would love it if you can just take a few moments to tell us some of the stuff that excites you, as you think about research and the work that you've been doing.
Yeah, for sure. So I guess I started doing forms of research when I was 16 years old. So I'll hold it up. So I wrote my book, You Failed Us, Students of Color Talk Seattle Schools. Yeah, my book. Right.
Okay, hold it up a little bit longer so people can find this book.
That's right. That's why I knew your name.
Yeah.
I was like, I know that person.
Yeah. Yeah, so I guess the premise of my book was based around research because I spent a lot of time interviewing students of color, like my peers from different schools in Seattle Public Schools. And I, heard their stories, asked them questions about their experiences being a student of color. And then, I guess the process, look over the quotes, find common threads, realize what some core subjects that people are consistently bringing up, and then I guess adding my own experience, my own thoughts. So that was kind of my first research project. So I guess it kind of goes to show that you can do it whenever, however old you are. You don't need a background in research. You can Absolutely. It was really just based on, I had a strong interest in it. I really wanted to hear from my peers, and I wanted to open space for them to share with me about their experiences. And it was really cool because I got a lot of different feedback from my book, but the number one feedback that was so important for me was that my peers told me that it validated them and that it validated their experiences. And literally, if that was the only feedback I got, then I knew I did the job that I wanted to do. So that was really cool. Yeah. And then aside from my book, I'm currently working on a research project with it's a short-term research project called Mapping Prevention. And basically the work that this group is doing is we have community-based research where we interview community members who specifically work in areas of violence prevention or similar areas to that. And we also have a survey for people to take to talk about that as well. The link will be in the description. And so the idea behind it is that we're collecting this data to then share with King County, people who are in charge of providing funding, and basically give them some direction of where the community thinks money needs to be going, where it hasn't been going historically. Specifically, like BIPOC groups have consistently been saying we don't get enough money. So we're just providing that data for them to then base their decisions off of. And that's been a really cool project. I get to work with a really cool group of people, and it's a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun to interview people. I love interviewing people and just building connections and meeting new people and like getting to know them to a point where like we share contact information and we stay in connection. And it's always just cool to keep adding people to my like community network.
That's awesome. That's awesome. I'm so like excited. You're just like, so this is my book, you know. That's just amazing, you know. Like,
well, thank you.
I at 16, I mean, one that you were just like, I want to talk to my peers, and not only that you went out, you did it, and you put all that information together and synthesized it in a meaningful way, and that's no short order. That is amazing. That's really just an amazing accomplishment, especially at such a young age, but also that you just continue to do the work that you enjoy in a variety of different ways. You know, research looks so many different ways, and I think that you demonstrate that in some of these different things that you've been working on.
Absolutely. I just love every single moment of what you're saying. I'm just like, yes. I especially love that you, in both instances, took the research and turned it into something. So you didn't just like learn a thing and sit on it, or like learn a thing and maybe tell a few people. Like, you are literally thinking about like, how do you connect that to change? How do you advocate for a different reality? And I just love that. I just think that is so crucial.
Thank you.
Yeah, are you kidding me? I'm like, I'm so excited. I'm excited you're going to be one of our researchers. And so I was wondering if you can tell people what you're looking forward to. It doesn't have to be research. It could be anything, but just like, what are some things that really excite you right now?
Yeah, well, we were talking about this right before we started, but I'm just super excited to be part of a project that like I can see very like tangible change or like impacts that I'm making on like individual people. And also like one of the things I love most about like doing like research or like community organizing, whatever you want to call it, is, you know, making connections with people on like a level that's not just, oh, let me collect some data, but, you know, I think you're a really cool person and I want to get to know you and like hear like what are your hopes and dreams, and, you know, just build up like real relationships with people and build up like trust within my community. So I'm really excited to, you know, continue doing that work and continue, like what you said, using my research to actually like make something happen. And yeah, I'm excited about it.
I'm so excited. Definitely. Like, we're so lucky to be able to be connected with you. I'm just like, look at all this brilliance that is like,
I know. And I love that you brought up the importance of kind of that relationship building. I think that when people think about research or thinking about grabbing any kind of data in any format from any group of people and then taking it back for whatever purpose it's meant to be, a lot of things that get lost when you're doing, when I see academic research or government research or even think tanks doing, they don't do any of the relationship building. So it's just kind of a extraction of information from a community. And you hope that they use that research well, and you don't even know what level of conversations they were able to have with the people that they were researching, because there's no trust, there's no real trust or long or even short-term kind of relationship building that went along with that. So I think that's such an important aspect of the work that we're trying to do.
Yeah, well, they must be missing out a lot, because that's the best part, in my opinion.
That's the best part.
Yeah, they're missing out.
Yeah. I think, you know, LéTania and I were talking, it might have been yesterday, it might have been the day before, but we were putting together some materials for people to better understand the research project, and we were talking about the relationships, and I was like, you know, sometimes I forget that isn't obvious. Like, every single level of how this thing was designed is like, from the very like bottom, like all the way to the top and throughout, weaving through like relationships and thinking about capacity and thinking about creating authentic connection and mutual aid, and just like, it's just very much just like part of how this is designed. And so when I see someone that's just like, oh, I think we can find a way to do this like cheaper, you know, I'm just like, you do realize like relationships take like time and commitment, and like you wouldn't enter into say like a marriage, you're like, I think I could get this for cheaper. Like what? So we think about like the long haul, and we think about like all of the things that you need to do to be able to get to that point. Like there's that courtship, you know, where you're getting to know each other. There's that, you know, first fight where you're like, I disagree. Like, I think this is what's important. Like there's all of that goes into creating any kind of meaningful relationship, long-term relationship with people, whether that's a community, whether that's a group of people, and, you know, any kind of relationship, platonic or otherwise, like you need that. And it's just exciting to me to see people like you who are invested in relationships be the ones who are really driving so much of this process. For you to be able to say like, hey, we're going to design, if you're doing interviews, an interview process that isn't just, hey, I'm not going to even bother getting to know you or your name or your context, I just need you to answer these questions, but rather like something that's just more authentic. And I'm so excited to see what comes out of that.
Yeah, I'm excited about it too. Very excited.
Oh, y'all.
Yeah.
Like moving my camera. I know I know, like y'all should see me. It's like 3 o'clock in the morning. I'm just like, you know, it's really exciting right now, community research. But I know we're just about at time. We usually close these out with calls to action, and I'd actually like to invite you to go first as our guest, and we'll close it out with ours. But are there any things that you want to be able to encourage people to do or pay attention to?
Yeah, so I mentioned it's really helpful for people to take this survey for the project that I'm working on. And I mean, I don't know, that's all I can really think of for right now, but yeah.
That's a good one.
That's good. That's perfect.
I'll put in a second one. Buy this book, written by this
there you
brilliant.
go.
Thank you.
Link in the description.
Link in the description. Yes, absolutely. LéTania, do you want to add some calls to action for us?
Absolutely. So please continue to write your council members. We need them to override the mayor's veto of the 2020 rebalanced budget. Do that every single day. They're scheduled to vote on Monday or Wednesday. Just keep writing them, let them know why that money is important for the community and for this research, for gun violence prevention, for scaling up orgs that address public safety issues, all those things. And also, we have a survey, our community needs survey. When you finish Azure's mapping prevention survey, come over to ours and do our community needs survey, because we want to know what you need so that we can help you out, address those issues. The link will be in the description.
Yes, take all the surveys, talk to all the city council members. If you don't live in Seattle, amplify for us the survey and people contacting city council members. And definitely buy Azure's book, because we want to support this brilliance. So that's all for today. Thank you. Yeah, could you make it like a little bit closer to the camera?
Yes, of course.
Okay.
My copy.
Yeah, it's my copy.
Please buy that book. Support brilliant, Black and brown folks who are doing this work all day, every day. And we will see you next time. Thanks so much, y'all. We'll see you. Bye.